Hi, this is Steve Ridgel, and as most of you know, I'm a Christian, but I want to be clear about this. We Christians aren't like you. Not because we're better, because we're not, because we are forgiven. But I want to be clear about this too. Sometimes people think we're a little cultish and we kind of cling only to each other, and some of that's, you think that because it's true. We've always been unique because we hang on to each other because we really believe we're not of this world. We may live in this world, but that's not who we are. I mean, God's always made it clear that we're strangers, we're aliens here, we're ambassadors of a different kingdom in this world. And so we're not like everybody else. In fact, He says that we ought not to be unequally yoked. We ought not to partner with non believers because we don't share the same values. It's hard to have a marriage where the most important thing in your life is not what's most important to your mate. It's hard to share a business and have the same. We Christians would think a business is a way for us to do ministry. Non-Christians won't see it that way. So we just don't share those kind of values together. But it's hard. One of the reasons Scripture is so firm about you're going to have trouble in this world, the world's going to hate you, is because our values are so different. We choose that. We don't always live them like we want to, but we're committed to those values. And sometimes God has always had to work for His people to keep them focused on Him and not kind of compromise with the world. I mean, in the New Testament, we read, don't be conformed to this world. But here's how He did it in the Old Testament when He was trying to teach His people. Don't be compromised by non-believers. When He led them out of Egypt, they went through the land and He said, don't even make treaties with other people, because if you make treaties, they'll invite you to their feast for their pagan gods. And you'll go and you'll eat sacrifices to pagan gods. And then you'll take some of their daughters to marry. And then when you do that, boy, He was saying, don't compromise. And in fact, one of the things that people say, I don't want a God that's so vengeful and harsh that when His people went in, they wiped out everybody. And that's true, they did wipe out everybody. Just kill everybody, including the livestock. And then you can have this land. Well, who wants a God that wasn't about God? You know what that was for? That was for His people. God was saying, I've got to teach you that you belong to me. I'm a jealous God. You're not going to have any other gods before me. I'm not going to compete for God. You follow me. And I don't want you to compromise. And so we're going to take away everything so you can come into this land as my people. So yeah, we Christians are going to love you. I mean, it's intrinsic to our nature that after loving God, we're going to love our neighbors ourselves, whoever our neighbor is. But we exist in this world for one reason, to help people come to Jesus, to share good news about Jesus. We'd invite you on that journey, not because we're perfect, not because everything works out always, but because we are forgiven. But I do want to be real clear. If you decide to follow Jesus, you become a strange and a peculiar person. You belong to a group of people who are really, our kingdom's not of this world and never will. We'll never be comfortable here. So I invite you into the best life you can ever imagine, but it will be a different life. And one of the great struggles always has been for God to keep His people focused on Him, separate and apart from the people of this world, not the same values. This world will never get us. So if you think I'm just crazy and peculiar and quirky, you're probably right, but part of that comes from my allegiance belongs to someone who made this world, but never intends for us to be at home in this world. We'll be home when we get to be with Him forever. And that's why He sometimes is so hard about us not compromising with people that don't believe in Him.